Hello everyone, I'm Dr. David Ansardi and I want to welcome you to our online Human Anatomy and Physiology course, Biology 202. In this video I want to give you guys just a kind of an overview orientation to the course to hopefully help you get started a little bit more efficiently, and also just to welcome you to the class. So a few things that we will go over. So what are we going to cover in this class? So of course this is a continuation from your first semester of Human Anatomy and Physiology. Looks like my face over here is blocking part of the content. So this class will be divided up into 5 units. And in the first unit, we're going to cover the endocrine system. So that's all about hormones. And then units 2 and 3 will mainly focus on the cardiovascular system. That is such an important system and has lots of parts to it. And so we actually divide that up over 2 units. And then we also include the lymphatic and immune systems in Unit 3. Unit 4, we move on to respiratory and digestive systems. And then finally in Unit 5, we wrap up the semester and we do the urinary and reproductive systems and a little bit on acid-base balance or pH homeostasis, how your body maintains proper pH in your body fluids. Really important topic. So I like to put the reproductive system at the very end of the semester because that's almost always the favorite topic of most students in human anatomy and physiology. And when you're getting kind of tired at the end of semester, it's good to have perhaps the most interesting part of the course at the end. All right, what materials do you need for this course? So obviously this is an online class, so you got to have computer access, hopefully a fairly new computer that's going to be reliable. The course content is delivered through Blackboard. All right, continuing on here, I got interrupted by a phone call. Sorry about that. Of course, the whole course will be delivered in Blackboard, and that includes all of your laboratory portion of the course, which is the anatomy, learning the parts of the body and so forth. That's all delivered online. You don't have to come to campus for anything. Now, a webcam, you may need a webcam. You have 2 options for testing in this course. You can go to one of our campus testing centers, or you can test from home. If you test from home, there is a service. You have to pay a fee, $30 for the whole semester or $7 per exam to use this service. It's called HonorLock. And you will need a webcam because your face gets recorded the whole time during testing for that. More information about that within the course. The textbook is Human Anatomy and Physiology. It's the 11th edition by Merib and Hohen from Pearson. And then you do need to have access to the Mastering A&P homework system. Now, if you're purchasing your materials from a Calhoun bookstore, if you buy the printed copy of the book, it's going to come with a code for the Mastering A&P homework system. Or you can just purchase the code, which is cheaper. And there is an electronic version of the textbook included with that if you don't mind using an electronic version of the book. A lot of students want that printed copy of the book, but just kind of keep that in mind. Also, you want to keep in mind if you're using financial aid or scholarship money to purchase your course materials, then you do need to buy these from the campus bookstore. But if you're paying out of pocket, you don't have any financial aid or scholarships, you're going to use a credit card or whatever, you probably want to pay for it directly from the publisher. It's going to be quite a bit cheaper. And if you are trying to save money, you can use an earlier edition of the book. It's not critical that you use the 11th edition of the book for this particular course. But you do have to have that homework code that goes with the 11th edition, and you got to make sure you have the right homework code, so look carefully at the course syllabus for that information. All right, and then, so this slide is just kind of rehashing what I talked about there. You will need that code. If you have an active subscription from a previous semester, like maybe you took Biology 201 here in the spring or the summer, you should not have to pay again. You should be able to use your username and password login for Mastering A&P from that previous semester for this course as well. All right, Blackboard overview. I'm going to switch over to Blackboard here and then give you kind of a little bit of a tour of the course to help you get started. All right, here we are in our in our Blackboard area for the course, which if you're watching this video, you've probably already checked this out to some degree. I do have the course set to open to announcements, and at the time that I'm making this video, I don't have any announcements posted yet, but I do put out pretty frequent announcements. Please read those announcements because they are providing what I consider to be important information for you. And I also almost always carbon copy those announcements to your Calhoun email. So your email at calhoun.edu through Outlook. So you want to be sure that you are set up to check your Calhoun Outlook email. Download the Outlook app to your phone. Everybody has one of these days, or almost everybody. And be sure that you're getting your emails that way, because that is the primary means for communication in this course with me, and also just Calhoun Business in general. They're going to, things like tuition payment reminders and so forth, those are going to go to your Calhoun Outlook email address. All right, so to get started, go to Course Information right over here. And there are several items in here to go through to help you get started. This is my bio. If you are interested in learning a little bit more about me, you can read through that. I do have some important course documents linked here, so if you just click the links, it will open these. Course syllabus, take a look at that carefully, familiarize yourself with the course policies and so forth. This one, assignment due dates, I'll go ahead and click that and open it. You're going to want to keep this handy because what this document has is every graded assignment in the course. A lot of times students want to know, what do I have to do for a grade in the course? Well, there are no secrets with that in this class, because this document has, for all 5 units, unit 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, it just has a listing of all of the assignments that are due, including the exams, and where they're located. So a lot of them are in the Mastering A&P area, but then a few are in other locations. So you guys can check that out, but keep that handy. No secrets. And I know there are a lot of assignments on here, and the reason for that is I've got your online homework kind of chopped up into smaller assignments that are due a little bit more frequently. I've tried different ways of doing this, like having just one due date per unit, and I don't think that works out too well. So I'm kind of hoping to help you manage your time a little bit more effectively in the course, because a course like this is a content-heavy class. You guys have had Biology 201. You know how anatomy and physiology is. There's a lot of course content to keep up with, so you really can't procrastinate and try to do things at the last minute. So I have things kind of divided up that way to hopefully help you with your time management. All right, so some other links here. We've got course learning outcomes. Those are the kind of a broad overview of, by the time you leave the course, what you should be able to do, what you should have learned. You can check that out if you would like. Unit learning objectives. At the time that I'm making this video, I'm in the process of revising these for this class and hopefully making them a little bit more user-friendly for students. So I'm probably going to take that off, actually. You won't see that. Student and instructor expectations. I will be providing unit objectives to you, but I'm in the process of rewriting them. I've got them done for Unit 1. Student and instructor expectations, you can read that. That's what I expect from you and what you can expect from me. And then this is the communication policy, kind of the rules for how to properly and professionally communicate with me and with other students in an online course. And also, here are some reminders here about how to get set up with your Calhoun Outlook email account. Now, if you are a past student here, hopefully you've already got this set up and you're using it regularly and checking it regularly. Again, the best way to do that is to put it on your phone. If you're a new student, though, you can click these links for instructions about how to get started, and you're going to want to do that. Course orientation, that's the video that you're currently watching. Textbook information there, information about how to get started with the Mastering A&P homework system, and I'll have a little video clip embedded there too. I'm going to have to update that today as well to help you get started. Scrolling on down, now this link will take you to the discussion board for the class, and I do want you guys to use the discussion boards in the course. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And what I would like you guys to do, what I've got here, this is the discussion board, and there are different boards or a different forum for each unit. And inside there will be, in most units, I've already created some topics where we're discussing different clinical case study questions. That'll help you learn and apply the material to kind of real-world scenario problems. So you'll want to make good use of those during the semester. But what I want you guys to do now is go to Introductions and Get Started with the Course, and click this thread, Class Introductions, click that, go in here and hit the reply button and type in your introduction to the class, let everybody know who you are, a little bit about yourself, and then hit submit. Doesn't have to be super detailed or elaborate. So if you guys will go ahead and do that. And again, that link will take you directly there if you want a shortcut. This folder you're going to want to come back to fairly soon, because this has got testing information, including how to do the home testing, what you got to do to get set up for that, and all the little rules and regulations. If you're going to use Calhoun's testing centers, you got the hours, you've got the rules for using Calhoun's testing centers. Student resources, if you click that, that is a Calhoun webpage or area in Blackboard that's got lots of helpful links for students. All right, and then once you have been through that course information area and you feel oriented, you can go ahead and get started with the course content. So this is where all the content for the course will be located. And again, we're going to have 5 units in the course. I'm going to be setting up all 5 units in essentially the same way. So once you kind of get your feet wet with Unit 1, you'll know how things are laid out and how things are going to work throughout the whole semester, and then we won't have dramatic changes from unit to unit. So hopefully that will work out well for you. Now, as you scroll down through here, I've got 3 things, 1, 2, 3, for you to complete really early in the class. You'll notice the deadline is Sunday, August 25th. So you don't have like a week or two to just kind of take it easy. You got to hit the ground running in a course like this. So the first one is this syllabus and Unit 1 navigation quiz. So this is going to, what you do, click the link. If you've never taken a quiz on Blackboard before, you have to hit the begin button over here. And as you go through here, there are several questions about policies in the syllabus, and also how Unit 1 is laid out. What are you going to have to do in each unit? How many exams are there in the course? There is also a question here where you need to read through this academic integrity policy, and this makes sure that you understand the rules and so forth for testing. All tests in this course are proctored, so they're monitored. They're not open book. You can't use your notes, any other devices or anything like that. It's all closed book, just like if you were taking an exam in a class on campus. So you have to acknowledge that by entering your name. When you're done, you hit save and submit to submit that. Now when you do that, you'll get a little warning message if you didn't answer the questions like I did. Click OK to review results. So you got to go over here, click OK. And then when you go through, it will show you for each question, what did you get right, what did you get wrong? And then you can go back and click this again and start a new attempt. Okay, sorry about that. And phones are ringing off the hook this morning. First of the semester. All right, the next thing I need you guys to do, number 2, this biographical survey. If you will click the link to that and go over here and fill this out. And it's actually a little bit longer. When you hit this submit button here, it's going to bring up some additional questions. But this is just providing me some background about you, what classes you've already taken, what your career goals are, what you like in a science class, what you don't like in a science class. Have you taken an online class, an online science class before? That type of information. So that just kind of helps me know where the students in the class are. And so those 2 are pretty easy to do. Again, you get 3 attempts with the syllabus and Unit 1 navigation quiz. That's a 25-point assignment, so that's worth like a 25-point Mastering A&P homework assignment. The biographical survey, just for completing that, it's 10 points. The third thing here is the Blackboard student orientation. Now, if you've been at Calhoun before, you have probably done this before if you've taken an online class, and it's really meant for people who are not familiar with Blackboard, just to get you used to how Blackboard works, how you submit assignments and things like that. So when you complete this, you get a little certificate, and it should have a green bar around the edges of the certificate showing that you actually answered the questions and so forth in the orientation correctly. So what I need you guys to do is take a screenshot of that certificate and send that to me, upload that. And if you do that, then I will give you 5 bonus points equivalent to 5 points added to a test grade. So for example, it would have the same effect of if you made an 86 on one of the Unit 1 exams, it would have the same effect as bumping that grade to a 91. So now if you're taking multiple online classes this fall, you're probably doing this in every class. So if you've already done it, keep your certificate and just send me your certificate. You don't have to repeat the whole thing again. I don't want you guys spending a lot of time on that though, because we do have a lot of content in the course. So don't get bogged down spending tons and tons of time on the Blackboard student orientation to get 5 points. It's not going to be worth it if it's affecting your overall impacting your time. And a lot of you guys have time constraints, especially when you take online courses. So I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, now for each unit in the course, there will be a folder here in Blackboard, and I'll come in there in a second. I do want to point out this folder has some pretty good videos from a professor at Samford University in Birmingham, Dr. Stephen Chu, and he is a specialist in how students learn, and he's got some really good video pointers for college students, and especially new college students. But even if you're not a new college student, you get into a content-heavy class like this one, you really got to work on your study skills. And most of you guys, almost all of you, are planning to go into nursing or some other area of the health sciences. And man, you get into one of those programs and you've really got to have your study skills perfected, really. And so a course like this is where you can really work on those types of things. So that's optional, but you might want to check that out. Great pointers, not just for this class, but other classes as well. Blackboard Collaborate, I'll fill you guys in on that later in the semester. This is actually an online where we can have live sessions where maybe I'm doing a review and you guys can log in and ask questions and things like that. So we'll hopefully be able to make some pretty good use of that this semester. We don't have to worry about that right at the moment. Okay, going inside Unit 1. Now all the units are going to be laid out in the same way. So I'll have a little intro area. I've got an orientation video that you can watch, which will give you more details about how Unit 1 is laid out and how you should approach it. So I'm not going to rehash all of that here. This video is from your textbook publisher, and it's telling you there will be one of these for each unit. Why is this information important for you to know for your career? Most of you guys are going into health sciences areas. A lot of the people in these video clips are nurses and other healthcare workers. All right, then each unit, so I will have a folder for each week and the dates for the week. So no secrets about what you should accomplish from week to week. And when you click in here, I know this probably looks a little scary up front because there's a lot of words as I'm trying to get you guys used to what you need to do to work through the class. But there are links here to critical documents that you're going to need for Unit 1. So you'll have that in every unit. And then you will see these modules each week, usually more than one. And you open these modules and you're able to click through from page to page, and there's written information and also video clips that go over the required content for the course, and this includes the laboratory content for the course. So that's how that will be laid out. So you'll click through those modules. And then I've also got links here. These will take you to your Mastering A&P, the online homework assignments for each week. So you can actually access those by just clicking on one of these links. And if I do that, it's probably going to bring me to a registration page. No, it actually brought up the assignment. Okay, so when you click on that, it will bring you to the, I wasn't expecting it to do that, so that's pretty nice. It'll bring you to the actual assignment, and you click on these, and that brings you to a particular question. And then you can also just kind of click through from question to question in here. And on the homework assignments, you have 2 attempts per question. And again, I'll go over this in more detail in the Unit 1 orientation video. Then as you move through the unit from week to week, you got a folder, and you can just go, things are laid out in order. Do this first, then do this, then do these Mastering A&P homework assignments. Boom, you're done. Move on to Unit 2. Be sure you're keeping track of the due dates. The due dates, for most of the time, you're going to have 2 due dates a week in Mastering A&P. And I have those set for Thursdays and Sundays most of the time. So just keep that in mind. Most of the time there will be a couple of due dates each week. I've also got a link here to the video playlists. And that's kind of a shortcut to all of the video clips for Unit 1, if you just want to go directly to the videos. I really advise you to access those video clips within these modules, like open those up, because I've also got some text in there that's providing some more information and not just the video clip. And again, I'll give you guys more of an orientation about how to approach Unit 1 later. So here's what you do each of those 3 weeks. This folder, you have one of these folders for each unit, Unit 1 exams and test prep. And if you go in there, now for the first unit, you got a whole bunch of information here about how to take exams in the course. And that includes with the HonorLock system. That's for home testing. And again, it's a fee-based service. I think I said $7 per exam earlier. It's actually $11 per exam. There are 10 exams in this class because there's 2 per unit. So you probably, if you're going to test at home, pay the $30 fee for the whole semester. Because $11 times 10 is $110. So, but if you're just going to maybe take 1 or 2 exams with HonorLock, then you might want to pay on a test-by-test basis. In the units, in this folder, I will also have discussion question rubrics. That's like the scoring chart for each exam. Almost all the exams have 1 discussion question on them, and that gives you a preview of how your question is going to be scored. What am I going to be looking for? So that will give you some big clues about what the discussion question topic and so forth will be and what you're going to need to address. These activities with the green L with the yellow box around them are ungraded practice activities. And if you go in here, you can scroll through, and there are little quizzes that are very helpful because they have, for the anatomy lab portion of this course, you're tested through images with arrows pointing at things, and you have to type in the identity, and also spell it correctly. Spelling correctly is part of being a career professional. And so those activities give you lots and lots and lots of unlimited practice with that in advance of the exams. So they just give you more practice questions that you can use. When you are ready to take your exams, you will go into one of these 2 folders. So if you're going to a Calhoun Testing Center, you will go in this folder to access your exams. And if you're going to test at home, you will go inside that folder to access your exams. And because they have to be set up a little bit differently for home testing versus testing center. And a lot of times students ask me, well, how many questions are on the test? What types of questions? And just go inside these folders for each unit. There are descriptions of each exam. So that information for every test, I'm telling you how many questions there are, what types of questions, and so forth. And of course, you have your due dates there as well. All right, let me point out Mastering. This is a link to the YouTube video playlist for the entire course, units 1 through 5. And again, that's if you just want a shortcut to the video clips. Calhoun email If you click on that, this is pretty straightforward. It's set up to make it clear to you guys how to do it. It looks like there's some stuff duplicated in here, though, I need to get rid of. And click here to email me. Type in your subject, type in your message, and hit submit over here. Now, when you do that, it's important for you to remember this is going to my Outlook email, so my reply to you will go to your Calhoun Outlook email. I can't emphasize enough, again, please check your Calhoun Outlook email, because if I need to contact you about something, hey, I noticed maybe you struggled a little bit with Unit 1. Let's talk about what you can do to improve in Unit 2. That's going to go to your Calhoun Outlook email. So please check that. And again, if you email me this way, you can email me directly using your Calhoun Outlook, either on your computer or on your device, your phone. Or you can email from here. But my reply is going to go back to your Calhoun Outlook email. It's not going to come back to you within the Blackboard system. And let's see what else here. Mastering A&P homework. So if you click this link, this will take you to lots of useful things with Mastering A&P. If you click this, it will take you to all of the Mastering A&P assignments for the course. And right now I've just got Unit 1 set up. That's like a little shortcut. Like I showed you guys those links each week. There are links in each weekly folder that will take you to these assignments. Or you can come over here. Looks like it's being kind of slow loading. First part of the fall, there's students all over the world using these systems and so forth, so things tend to move a little bit more slowly. And let's see. This might look more like what it looks like for me than for you guys, but some other things on here I want to point out. Pearson eText. That's an electronic version of the textbook, and I kind of like it because if you're reading within the eText, they have little interactive questions and so forth you can answer to kind of test your knowledge. Study area. A lot of students like the study area, so if you go in there are some additional practice and so forth for you guys. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. I think that's it for the Blackboard overview. So I'm coming back over here, and we have talked about all of that. Course content, how is it delivered? Well, I already showed you guys how all that's laid out, so I'm not going to rehash all of that again, or although you can read it here if you would like to. Be sure you're using, there are some documents, they're actually labeled learning objectives and study guides, so you will have 2 of those for each unit. Please be sure that you print those out and use those as you go through the video clips, because that's really going to help you home in on the most crucial pieces of information. Those guides are going to tell you exactly what you should be able to do if you are prepared for the exams in this course. And if you can't do those things, then that's telling you that you need to study more thoroughly. All right, so we talked about the layout and how the course is delivered, so I'm not going to rehash that again. Now, how about grading? So grading in the course, you do have an assignments category. That's mostly Mastering A&P homework assignments. There will likely be 5 of those assignments for each unit. So each unit in this class is 3 weeks long. So over a 3-week period, you're going to have 5 homework assignments. I'm trying not to make them super long, so they shouldn't be overly time consuming. And they are, the questions I have picked are to try to help you review critical pieces of information. So you don't want to treat them just like busy work to get a grade. You want to use those questions to help you review the material and to let you know what you need to study more thoroughly. Okay. Keep track of your due dates. Homework assignments. 20% of your overall grade in this class will come from the assignments category. So that includes all these Mastering A&P homework assignments, the unit, that syllabus and Unit 1 navigation quiz I just showed you, that biographical survey that you have to do during the first week. Those types of things fall into that category. Exams in this course are 80% of your grade. That's a departmental policy. We have 2 exams in each unit. Now, if you take A&P on campus, you have a lab test where you go into the lab and things are set up on tables and you write down the identities of what you're supposed to name. And in this course, now I do have it kind of set up that way for Unit 1 for the endocrine system. There is an anatomy exam and a physiology or lecture exam. But for most of for the remaining units, I have it divided up by chapter or chapters. And so on a particular exam, you will have both the anatomy lab content for that chapter and also the physiology, the lecture type function questions on that same exam. So those things will be combined because it's easier to do that with an online course. All the tests are given on Blackboard. They count for 80% of your grade in the class. So this is where you should be investing most of your effort, is studying, preparing, getting ready for these exams. And again, with the anatomy questions in this class, so you guys will see I demonstrate the anatomy to you using a 3D anatomy app. I use a program called Visible Body, and I'm not requiring you to purchase it for this course, but I do recommend it because it gives you something. A lot of students use it on their phones, or if you have a laptop computer, you can download it to your computer, or if you have an iPad or some other type of tablet, you can download it to one of those. And it gives you, it's really nice. It gives you something that's 3D for you to use to learn the anatomy. You can rotate things around and highlight, click on different parts, and it will tell you the names of the parts and so forth. And so I demonstrate all the anatomy on that, and the images that I use for testing are mostly come off of that app, since that's what I'm using to teach it to you. And I do have things that you can print out as you're going through each unit and use to help you label stuff as you're going through those anatomy lab video lectures. But yeah, the anatomy questions, just like on campus, you would have to go in and you see some part of the heart that's probably has a number stuck on it, and you have to write that down on a sheet of paper, and here you have to type it in on the test. Spelling does count, so minor spelling errors, you'll lose 1/4 of the credit. So if the question is worth 2 points, I'll take a half a point off. More serious errors, you'll have more taken off. Left and right error, left and right is important. So, a left or right error is also 1/4 of the credit taken off as well. And it's my judgment call on whether something is a spelling error or you're getting off into the realm of where it's not even recognizable as that particular term anymore. Physiology, function, lecture questions, mostly multiple choice. Now there are some multiple answer questions on the exams. That's select all that apply. Students usually hate those because, boy, you gotta really know your material. You can't really guess on those. So you got to know your stuff, and you're going to see a lot of those types of questions moving into a program like nursing. And then discussion it's actually one discussion question on most of the exams. And again, I do have posted in advance in the exam and test prep folder the grading rubric for the question or questions in each unit. So you want to check those out in advance and to help you prepare. All right. You are not alone in this course. I know it's an online course. Sometimes you might feel a little bit isolated, like you're off on your own and just having to teach yourself, but make use of all. You shouldn't have to teach yourself in this course. You've got lots of video clips going over all of the material that you need. Use the discussion boards. So I've got those set up. I want you guys to use those and interact with each other and also with me. If you have a question, please don't feel like your question is stupid or something that you can't post on the discussion board. If you're still not comfortable, please go ahead and email me, but don't hesitate to contact me. Most of the time, I am wishing that more students would contact me. You're not bothering me. That's what I'm here for. Is to help you and help you get through this material. If you were taking this class on campus, we would spend a lot of time with each other, and you would have lots of opportunities to ask me questions, and we would have a lot of back and forth dialogue about the course content. That's what's kind of hard in online classes to duplicate. And the best that we can do is to have as much discussion as possible on the discussion boards or through email when you're having some questions or some concerns. Take good notes. You're watching a video, you're not watching something on Netflix, so you're not kicked back chowing down on a snack and just kind of passively listening. You need to be taking notes. I don't have all of the information printed on the PowerPoints that I'm going over. You need to be taking notes, writing down examples and things as you go through. You've really got to study in this class to be able to explain things, to be able to discuss things topic by topic. That's really important. It's not just a memorize and regurgitate flashcard type course. And that is going to help you when you move into nursing, paramedic school, etc. You want to keep that in mind. Contact me if you need help. Don't fall behind. I've got everything laid out for you week by week, what you need to do to stay on track. So don't fall behind. Have fun. So might not seem fun at times, but you're learning about the human body, how our bodies function. And that's really fascinating to learn how these body systems work, how they cooperate with each other, what has to happen for you to stay alive. It's pretty amazing. So hopefully you can take that attitude and that approach with the course. Try not to get behind. I know a lot of you guys have a lot on your plate, and time management can be an issue at times. But just jump in there and do the best that you can. And please let me know if you need help. I am here to help you, and I do want you to succeed in the class. And I'm here to help you accomplish that. So thank you for listening, and please hit the ground running and get off to a really good semester. Thank you.